Hey, what's up, folks? It's me again, yeah, and it's traffic again. Look, I ain't gonna let traffic do me, and I got some things to do, so I'm gonna get it in while I'm on the road. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I hope you can see me. If not, hey, well, you can hear me. So I want to talk about heart health. Okay, it's one of the leading heart-related issues. Is one of the leading causes of death in America, at least. But regardless, it's good to practice great practices because it isn't necessarily something that they just throw at you, even in public school. And if they do, man, we're just sleeping right through it. We don't know the importance of that, okay? We are ill-equipped to take on great practices when it comes to heart health, especially when we have some dangerous I don't want to say I want to say we have quite the adversary in some of these restaurants out here, man. I ain't really trying to pick on anybody, but look, I gotta tell the truth. All right, so the first thing's pretty obvious. It's water. But what I want to speak on as far as water specifically is that it keeps your blood thin. Okay, so as you get older, this is very important that I say this. As you get older, your blood vessels start to get more and more narrow, which makes it harder for the blood and the cholesterol and all that, the plasma to pass through. All right, so you can imagine as a child you can get away with not drinking water because a lot of us as children, we did not drink water. We drink sodas and juices and all that, and it was all good. We could eat whatever we want, and we didn't have to worry about that. The blood would still pass through. But as you get older, you don't want your blood to be all that idle. You don't want to be idle. You don't want your blood to sit still. You definitely don't want your blood to be thick. All right. Now they say blood is thicker than water, but you're gonna want some of that water to ensure that it's not that thick. Okay, because you don't want anything to get clogged up, and you have heart attacks. You have heart failure, all of that. Okay, so drink your water, keep your blood thin. Also, something that I didn't write it down on this list, but I like to put ginger, ground ginger in my water sometimes and drink that because that's known to keep your blood thin. It's a beta blocker of sorts. Okay, so that's a good thing. I understand that some people take aspirins every morning or something like that. Look, I'm not gonna tell you not to do it. If it works, it works, but I'm just trying to give you some alternatives that I know also work. It's kind of the natural route. That's my thing. I like to study natural natural remedies to everything. Okay, because when my anxiety was really bad, and a lot of people who deal with anxiety will know this. You get a lot of pain in your chest and your arms and all that. Your heart start beating fast, and even when you're on the verge of having panic attacks, people will tell you, man, like, that I thought it was a heart attack. I thought, it's hard to decipher. Sometimes people say, like, who've dealt with both, said that sometimes the anxiety attacks feel worse. And I've called the hospital. I called 911 a couple times because it just felt so bad, and I just didn't know. Man. It's a lot of shock value, and then it's like you want to talk yourself out of it, but when something's happening inside your body and there's no quick relief for it, what the hell do you do? Okay, so but I did a lot of research, and now it's paying off because maybe I'll be able to help somebody with this. Maybe I'll make you all more conscious or enable you to focus on your heart, man, because it's very important, man. For you, I don't know how old you are, but man, it's that you had a heartbeat going for thousands of times, hundreds of thousands, millions of times. I don't know how many times a heart beats over the course of a lifetime, but many times. Okay, like your heart has been very resilient in spite of what you've done to it, in spite of what you did to compromise its well-being. And the same for me also, because I've been doing some things over the course of my life that just it's unacceptable. So I'm very grateful that I'm still fairly healthy, and I'm gonna optimize that. Okay, I simply have to. All right. So I had to make sure my mic was on. But the next thing is to get some sleep. That's pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. All right. Get some good sleep. You don't want to have to deal with all the grogginess and the stress that you have, and not being able to get that relaxation that you need. And I understand there's a lot of hustlers out there, and I want to talk because I actually been up all night, But I'm gonna try to sleep for as long as I can, then pick my daughter up, and probably sleep some more. But I know y'all some hustlers out there, but what is it all worth if you can't even enjoy it? I know people like to say YOLO. They probably don't say it anymore, but they probably still live by the code. You only live once. But what about the quality of life is what I'm asking you. What about the quality of life? Like, that should be a determining factor for you. That should be of some concern. All right. So the next thing, skip breakfast. Skip breakfast? They tell you it's the most important meal of the day. But what does breakfast mean? Let's break it down. Break fast. All right. That doesn't necessarily mean you got to have it in the morning. Okay. So I want to tell you something. I want to tell you two different things. So first of all, there's they say it's an old ancient Chinese technique where when you wake up in the morning, you don't eat. You don't eat your breakfast as soon as you wake up. You take an hour to drink nothing, to just drink fluids, okay? You drink tea, no sugar, whatever. But for 1 hour. And why would you do that? Okay, because when you wake up, your heart is at its weakest, okay? There's a spike in the blood pressure and all of that. I made that correlation, with people having heart attacks on Mondays. They try to make it related to they going back to work and things like that. And I agree, but on top of that, you got a lot of us who are kind of stressed and stress eating and eating at a fast pace. Probably woke up with only a couple minutes to spare. And then you're eating maybe you eat McDonald's because it's not too many restaurants open if you want to get a nice hot meal. So you're eating some McDonald's, and I'm gonna get on that later. You suffer the consequences for it. So it's just a bad combination, man. Just being stressed, hating where you going, going to work. You probably deal with traffic like me. Shit, man. Somebody well, I'm not dealing with traffic right now, but there are people in traffic right now just cursing up a storm, man. So skip breakfast. Oh yeah. So the second part of that is what I've been practicing. My initial thing, my initial reason for writing this is that intermittent fasting. Okay. So I've spoken on this many times before, but it's good for you. It's good to have your body detox and not have all that pressure put on your heart, okay? So, and again, you take all this time to drink your fluids, drink your water, all right? You see, your comfort will kill you, all right? Chasing after, I just gotta have it, I gotta taste for this, I gotta have this, I gotta have it. You gotta be disciplined, okay, to ration your food. Let your body detox, let it work for you, okay? Like, you'll be very much grateful that you did. Just drink your fluids, all right? So the next thing, as I tie this together, you work out in the morning. You don't necessarily have to work out in the morning, but hey, why not start your day off that way? Strengthen your heart. Don't go over the top with it, but hey, show up and show out. All right. You definitely want your You definitely want to capitalize on that, especially when you're not eating. That's less of a distraction. You're not gonna be sluggish, and also it helps you move your bowels. So when you're moving your bowels, that's going to lower your blood pressure as well, because being full of stool, it increases your blood pressure. All right. I don't know about urine per se, but I know that if you have a lot of stool sitting on you, that increases your blood pressure. So if you ever got your blood pressure taken, and you had to go to the bathroom, it was pretty spiked, that could have had something to do with it. It really does make a difference, okay? So you want to be as accurate as possible when you do get tested, when you do test your heart. All right, so the next thing we have is cold showers. I speak on that a lot too. So it not only does it increase your testosterone levels, and it burns the white fat, which they consider to be the bad fat around your most precious organs. and if I'm not mistaken, the white fat is insulin resistant. Um, so that's how a lot of people get diabetes. Okay, all right. So people think you get diabetes from sugar, but there have been many reports uh, to depict otherwise. Okay, all right. And obviously, I'm not a doctor or anything like. Do your research always, man. Look, I'm not your god. I'm just leading you to the well. You can do with that information as you see fit. But cold showers, on top of just the long list of benefits. Okay, most of my showers are cold. At one point, I was only taking cold showers. I mean, I got a little soft a little bit, but I'm still taking mostly cold showers, 90% of the time. And then when I do take warm showers, I'm switching it to cold when I'm finished washing. So that's great for many reasons. Okay, so it lowers your blood pressure and increases your blood flow. Okay, so it's good that I would mention that it increases your blood flow, because a lot of us are sitting a lot more than our body was intended to sit for. So okay, so if you sit down a lot at work, or maybe you drive for a living, or you just fucking lazy, whatever it is, you don't want your blood to sit still. Now I already said that, okay? So if you're already not drinking enough water, and you're getting older, and you got food with the trans fat in it, more on that later, and you're just eating a bunch of junk, and the blood's getting thick, it can start to clot from sitting still and all that. That's not what you want, okay? So this increases your blood flow, it keeps things moving, increases your circulation, lowers your blood pressure. That cold showers are good for you, okay, man? Like, fuck comfort. You can find comfort in the discomfort. Trust me. I know what I'm talking about. All right. I know what I'm talking about. The next thing, what we got? Oh, no trans fat. I was just talking about this. Now, man, look, I could have. I'm gonna throw in a little something else when we talking diet. Like, but the only thing as far as diet that I wrote down is don't eat your breakfast in the morning. Go ahead and skip breakfast. But no trans fat, okay? This is why McDonald's, Big Macs are putting you down, okay? Trans fat. Popeyes, trans fat. Now, I don't know about where the Popeyes and the McDonald's are posted, but I wouldn't be surprised if they plant them in a lot of heavily in areas that are heavily populated with black people. Nice and cheap food that we can afford, and it's putting us down. Okay? These Big Macs and all that, I don't know if they switched that game up or not. I'm a vegetarian. I've been a vegetarian for 5 years. I do go to McDonald's sometimes to get some fries, if I'm really bumming it, get some fries, a parfait or whatever. I don't know. I can't speak to how healthy that is, but I take risks sometimes, and then I practice a lot of what I've put on this list, so maybe I can get away with it a little bit more. But yeah, those Big Macs giving you heart failure. Okay, so if you follow C.T. Fletcher, that's his story. He spoke on, like, obviously I don't know if he was taking steroids or anything like that, maybe, but those Big Macs were enough to do it. He eat a couple Big Macs during lunch, and that was just one meal. The fact that he spoke on that's what he was eating gives me great reason to believe that he believes that's what put him down, man. Like, and it's no joke, okay? Like, I look it up right now, because I haven't, but I bet you if you look up somebody has heart attack while eating McDonald's or something like that, and well, that's what you're going to see. All right, I mean, you're going to see some results. All right, so you definitely want to do that. So the next thing is plant life. You want to be around plants. It's proven that when you're around plant life, your stress levels go down, and as a result, your heart won't suffer as much. Okay, so that's my list right there. But I like to try to wrap it up and speak on some of the things that I miss. Obviously, with all this body positivity going out there, that's perfectly fine. I'm okay with that. I want people to feel beautiful and feel special. I don't want them to feel like they have to fit in some type of mold. And that's coming from somebody who's been pretty skinny his whole life. So I'm definitely not going to judge. The only thing that I have to say about that, man, is that if who you are, if your body type is unhealthy, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't love yourself any less, but you also shouldn't convince yourself that this is where you should be. Okay? Just for the sake of health. Just for the sake of health, all right? Like I'm not judging you, man. Like I'm never going to get caught up in y'all life where I feel like you have to do something, or I'm going to mock you, or I'm going to make fun of you, or I'm going to talk down on you, man. I just feel like it's very much important to both love yourself and know what you need to do for yourself, because that's the case for me as well. All right, there are things about me that I know I need to change, not because society expects it, but because I I want to live, the best life. I want to have a great quality of life because, again, like, let's just assume that this is the only life we have. Well, that doesn't mean you throw it away and make risky decisions. Okay, you want to have a great quality of life. I obviously can't. I definitely can't stress that enough, man. And if you only have one life, why not protect it? If you only got one pair of shoes, you're gonna do your best to keep it nice and clean. All right, to take care of them. Because obviously, if you only have one pair of shoes, unless you're a true penny pincher, you probably don't have money like that. Okay. So you got to take care of your one life. It's precious. I mean, I don't necessarily believe that you just live this one life. I feel like we are spiritual beings and we're having a human experience, and we'll probably have another one when this is over. I know a lot of people, they hear that and they be like, "Oh shit. I hope you're wrong. I hope there's heaven after this." All right? But but all jokes aside, man, you got to take care of yourself while you're here. All right? You eat your fruits and your vegetables. All right, even as a vegetarian, like, I feel like I don't go hard enough eating my leafy greens, and oh yeah, these nuts. You gotta have some of these nuts, almonds and all that heart healthy foods. Go ahead, get yourself some peanut butter and all that. Yeah, just really take care of yourself, man. Like, I just can't stress that enough, because something like that creeps up on you. It's kind of scary sometimes, because every once in a while, I read up on certain people who had like have heart attacks or something like that, and it was like, man, I was really depressed after I had a heart attack, because I focused so much on my health. Like, thought I was extremely healthy. I was working out. I was doing this. I was doing that. Granted, I don't know this person. I don't know what they were indulging in. I have no way of knowing if they were doing something that was just foul. But also, because I didn't write this down, man, you might want to go ahead and resolve to give up smoking. All right, I mean, I don't know what weed does for you, but you just give up them goddamn cigarettes. And if you're a regular drinker, man, go ahead and get some help, man. Easier said than done, but resolve to do it for the sake of your heart. Okay, if you want to have a little glass of wine every night, that's fine. Sometimes I even go over the top. I'm not going to lie to you. Okay, like a couple nights ago, I just drank myself to sleep, and I've done that quite a bit of times, man. But as I'm getting closer to 30, I need to really start thinking long-term longevity and things like that. Luckily for me, I'm able to just cut things out if I see them as a problem, man. So seriously, I mean, it's not that I like the discomfort of the choices that I choose, when I'm trying to choose better, but that's the thing, though, man. I want better. I want a better outcome, and sometimes to get a better outcome, you're gonna have to do things that's really going to, set you off. It's really going to offset you. It's going to compromise you. But it's a sacrifice. And it's a sacrifice that's worth making, worth taking. You know what I'm saying? So, always, just always be conscious of that, man. So, I really hope that my tips helped you. I may come back with a part 2 or so, because, like, when I was in traffic, all I did was just jot down, just the basics: water, sleep, yada yada yada. Okay, but I had to focus on the road. All right, I don't want to be dangerous out here, as I'm trying to tell you to focus on making some safer plays, some safer moves. All right. Now, obviously, you can get away with enjoying some of your favorite meals. Just don't go over the top with it, man, and just be grateful. Practice gratitude, and don't practice gluttony, man. Don't practice greed. Share, give a little, give a little, take a little. Educate yourself on the best course of action. Now, always push yourself, man. And like, even if you aren't necessarily squared away with yourself and you aren't happy with who you are, you may not love yourself too much, man. Keep yourself in the game, because when it does come around to things are looking up for you or whatever, you want to be able to enjoy it entirely and not just be like, damn, well, I wasted all this time being depressed and hard on myself. And well, now look at me. I'm dealing with some health issues. I'm out of shape. All these things, man. I feel sick. But also, making healthier choices may make you feel better about your life. All right. So that's also something to consider. Okay. Especially because you talk about things like getting some sleep, and you talk about intermittent fasting, which boosts your creativity, and all that good stuff. And you got the exercise in with the endorphins and all of that. And then the cold showers also, which is great for mental rehabilitation as well. So a lot of things go hand in hand. What works for the body works for the mind. Okay, so you definitely want to have them. You want to have a bit of a collusion. You want to have them working together in unison for the greater cause, man. So, and you have that in your power. All right. So, best wishes to you all, man. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Like and subscribe.